Good evening, everyone. It's a beautiful weekend again. This is TRADEWITHWORLDBANK here. Um, I would like to welcome you all to my YouTube channel. If you are new to this YouTube channel, make sure you click on the subscribe button and then turn on the notification so you can get notified when I drop beautiful content like this. Stay tuned and let's check out what we have for today. Last week we were analyzing three pairs: Euro CHF, Euro USD, GBP. So we're going to be starting off with Euro CHF, where we stopped, and then how market has moved or reacted to everything we did or were waiting for last week. So I remember vividly and clearly last week, market was somewhere around here throughout this demand zone. I throughout this demand zone, yes. Then I was expecting a buy from there, which didn't happen as you see. So it didn't give entry. Then secondly, I was waiting for sales from either half of this imbalance zone or the total extreme supply zone. So as I was saying, if um, I got a break of structure here like this, probably a trend reversal to the downside, I'll do my new point of interest over here. That was what I was expecting last week, but none of this happened. None of the buys happened. None of the sales also happened. So let me delete that and see how we could have capitalized on the move for the week. Yeah, so market kept selling, didn't give me any form of reversal so far. I've drawn out this zone for my point of interest, new point of interest, which I'm looking for this week. Then we also add another supply zone here that mitigated twice, creating liquidity. So since that is creating liquidity, I'm gonna draw out my trend line like that. Liquidity above, yeah. Yeah, so now we have a zone of liquidity here, point of interest that created liquidity. And then I'll be expecting what? A sell from this supply zone. Still very bearish on this Euro CHF. Let's look at the weekly time frame. You can see it's dipping so much. It has broken out from this demand zone we drew out here on the daily, then the weekly. It has broken out of the demand. And let's see the monthly time frame. But left hand side, you can see it's nothing much. There's nothing. We have no information to the left, so that means we want to be working with what whatever structure or whatever flow of orders we get on the smaller time frames. So that is the 1 hour point of interest. Probably the 4 hour point of interest might be mitigated. I don't know, but those are the two zones I'm looking forward to sell from on Euro CHF. So what if it doesn't sell and then it buys? I'll be definitely looking for a breakout from these demands, from these supply zones, sell to buy rather. We have an extreme zone here also, so we have three zones. But nonetheless, you can look for buying opportunities on the smaller time frame, all those trading counter trend trade. So it means you can look for buys up to the way inside this zone or inside this zone or inside this zone. So it's not bad to look for buys. Just make sure you are doing it the safe way. And then what if it doesn't mitigate this zone? Then I'll continue looking for what's more break of structures, then more supply zones that are causing what's break off. I think that will be enough on Euro CHF. And I won't go too deep inside counter trend trading. We all just want to analyze and then ask for, probably what will happen this week and next week. Then we're going to move to the next pair, which is Euro USD. So far, you can see Euro USD didn't really give any solid movements during the week, just ranging and probably plan to go up into the supply zone. So my supply zone still stands. These two supply zones. So more like Euro CHF now, more like Euro USD. Uh, um, we have a supply zone here. See, that got mitigated, and then it is passing through it, breaking out from this. Have a supply zone because clearly have this break. So that is why I'm taking this zone and then the other extra zones also. So I'm looking for sales from supply, look for sales from there. That's and also these two zones too. You understand? So definitely you can also always look for buying opportunities for markets get into the major supply zone where or probably a demand zone, like then you can go into the smaller time frame to capitalize on the move, to capitalize on this buy move before getting to our major sell point of interest. And then sometimes sometimes your counter trend trades are actually going to become big trades when you owe them over time, and probably to enter this zone or even buy more, enter this supply zone. So that is one advantage of counter trend. It might be a counter trend, but still it might actually be it might actually be a trend shift. You understand? So that is something about trading. Don't worry, just stick to your normal risk to reward, probably 1 to 10 or 1 to 5. One day markets will reward you with more, definitely. Don't always chase the higher risk to reward. So chase what you can take, which is probably 1 to 4 or 1 to 5. Definitely one day or the other, markets will reward you with probably 1 to 10, 1 to, and whatever risk to reward. So it's just a matter of sticking to your trading plan. So for someone like me, I always hold a lot, even though I eat TP, I still, lock profit and hold. Though I'd have closed probably 80% of my positions, but still, I'll still be on that trade. So that trade might even give me back at least 80% back if it actually gives me the initial move, you understand? But sometimes it hits my take profits. I'll close my 80% or 90%, and then I'll lock profits, and then to take me out on break even is always very nice. But there are some days whereby even the 20% I'm holding would give me more than the 80% I have closed. So that is the beauty about market. That is the beauty about following your trading plan, and that's the beauty about consistency, repeating the same thing over and over again, not trying to change strategy every time. Not trying to change strategy. Though sometimes it might take a while to get the hang around taking trades from major zones and then taking counter trend trade. But by the time you get it, you are able to spot everything, then you'll be good to go. You'll be good to go. So focus less and then expect more. Sorry, focus more and then what? Expect less. Focus more, grind more, because be more consistent, but don't expect something huge. You understand? You understand what I'm saying? But just expect something less, which the market is going to reward you. Probably that risk to reward, that 1 to 5 risk to reward that you've been getting, just continue getting it. One day, markets will give you more. That is something that is definite about these markets, especially when you're already consistent. So I think that will be all on Euro USD. And now let's move to the last pair, which is GBP JPY. Okay. So GBP JPY last week, I remember I was expecting sales into this point of interest. Now I'm seeing something as beautiful as what I was expecting on Euro CHF. Remember Euro CHF? What did I say? I said I was expecting. I said. Sorry about the break. Yes, I said I was expecting something on Euro CHF last week. I wouldn't go back to the video because I don't want to take our time. How many minutes are we? Just 9 minutes. This video might not be so long like the others, but now, around last week, I was expecting market to hit the supply zone, and then I said sometimes market doesn't feel the whole imbalance, and then I'll probably expect it to feel probably half of the imbalance, give me a break of structure, and then give me a supply zone that I sell from. Yeah, this was what I said I was expecting on Euro CHF if enters this imbalance zone. Now let's go back to GBP JPY. Now you can see what's happened exactly here and here. Mitigated half of the imbalance. So though this one didn't give me supply zone, but now again, mitigated half of the imbalance, broke structure, gave me a supply zone, and then what? It started selling back into a demand zone that's now pushed markets up the major supply. And now I'm expecting it to what? To drop, even though it doesn't drop, at least played out nicely. Okay. So let's check inside here. Now, this was the first zone, right? Okay, there was a supply zone here, got mitigated, started it to what come inside our demand zone and then go into our supply zone. But this one didn't mitigate, came up a little bit, broke structure, still holding this demand zone right here. And now it came to what mitigate this demand zone. Now filling half of this imbalance here, did it give us a break of structure? Yes. Where was the sell zone? It'd be around somewhere here. And then price broke through it. Probably there wasn't an entry there, and then everything happened during the Asian session from 6 o'clock towards to next morning. So I wouldn't be trading this zone again because the mitigation happened at night, and until it broke out, I might not get an entry. Now again, came towards into the demand zone, nice as we're expecting, but we're still expecting this major supply. Just like I explained on Euro CHF, Abu probably it might mitigate half of the imbalance, and then if it does that, if it gives me a break of structure, return to the supply zone that caused the break of structure, and then what I'll probably look for entry, and then I'll sell off everything. That's what happened. So exactly what happened here, textbook paper textbook or whatever setup you call it, everything happened after the Asian session, London, and the New York session. So let me just go into the smaller time frame here. You can see, let's use the 30 minutes for example. Yeah, so there was a breakout here, we call break of structure. Break of structure. Now there was a supply zone above. I can use this 30-minute peak anyhow. Then you can look for entry, probably 3 minutes entry or 5 minutes entry into this demand zone. Demand zone will be your target area. So let's use 15 minutes for entry. Where is it? Over here. So there was no 15 minutes break of structure. Let's go to just 3 minutes sharp. Time. Like 3 minutes break of structure. No, then definitely. Okay, there was a 3 minutes break of structure. Over here. Broke out from that low. Nicely. US below. Stop loss will be over here. So for me, I love to use half of the entry. That's and where is my sell setup? Stop loss will be above like 6 pips. Then you can use 10 pips if you want. It will even be up to 10 pips. And target was 100 pips, 1:12. Just during 1 1 o'clock to 2 3:18 p.m. in few. That'll be a nice trade for exactly what I was expecting on Euro CHF. Now you can see it happened on GBP USD. Definitely target to be here. So that's why I said sometimes when you target 1 to 5, 1 to 4, gives you more than it. So let me delete that. That is just a simple way of trading off what's imbalance. So that I think you've learned something new today. Sometimes markets might not want to mitigate supply zone first. It might want to mitigate the imbalance. Then once it mitigates the imbalance, what are you looking for? You're looking for a break of structure. You're looking for what's a mitigation, and then you're looking for what's a structural formation to new trend downside into probably the demand zone, which will be your take profits, and then you close, and you have to wait for what the markets when the market should mitigate the whole supply zone. Now market has mitigated the whole supply zone, exactly how I was expecting last week, because I remember last week I said the 4 hour was structural. I said there was a break of structure here. There was a mitigation. There was another break of structure. There was a mitigation. There was another break of structure. There was a mitigation. And then I said, therefore, probably there should be what? Another break of structure, which happened. And now there is a mitigation. You can see now that flow is still inside this market. So I'm expecting to probably drop or go up. Now, if we are taking the sales, let's look for 5 minutes entry over here inside that supply zone. Yeah, definitely I'll have used this zone as my first supply zone. Markets didn't retrace back to that zone. And then the second zone would have been also here. Markets mitigated the open, as you can see, mitigated the open, and then markets came back to still mitigate next candle again. So for extra confirmation, like I always say, some people do use extra confirmation like this break of structure, or you can call it change of character. Then where's the next break of structure? Yeah. Let me make this clean. Yeah. So I think it's cleaner this way. And your entry would be definitely for me, I always use half. So let me use 2. I always use half. Throughout last week, I don't think I traded anything. I don't think I traded anything. Plus above reward you target. Okay, so that's how much 1:6. Even 1:6 got 50 pips, and then 50 pips a day, I'm out of the market. And definitely, probably I'll still be holding because I always like to hold red pips, and then I think it's continued going up again. So this was after um Asian session. So definitely I would want to take something for market closes. Then 50 pips, 80 pips, 100 pips, whatever pips, done for the day. As simple as that. So I think that will be all on Gbp Jpy. Let's do a little recap again. Like I said, I was expecting it to trade into this imbalance, just like the way I explained USD Euro CHF last. Now it didn't happen on Euro CHF, but at least it happened in Gbp Jpy. It gave us nice structure we need and a structural confirmation. And I was talking about this zone, that why didn't we use this zone? Because there probably wasn't an entry over here. So, and then it's also happened during the Asian session, and I don't trade during the Asian. So definitely I won't disturb myself to going down into this zone to look for selling opportunities, because everything happened during the Asian session after the New York session. So definitely there was no volume or momentum at that time. But still, nonetheless, it came into this zone using the 30 minutes point of interest, and then they have taken sales into this demand zone. And for this demand zone, you can use what entries again. Okay, I didn't talk about this. Let's just go to the 1 minute sharp. So this is to tell you that you can use any time frame entries. So I don't use the small time frame. I'm only doing this for the sake of this video. So definitely, this was the first zone, right? This was the first break of structure. I'm going to talk about the 2 types of entry most people use. 2 types of entry, very important. So I'm going to first talk about the normal entry, which is just the break of structure. A break of structure. Then it will be here, and then stop loss. I've gotten it. Stop loss will be above, so rather target to be probably there, 1 to 12. I would have missed that, right? But still, market hasn't gone out of this zone. Okay, now went out of this zone, now pushed back into this and broke all the structures. Okay, so which zone will be very reasonable to trade? We have the zone here that has created right? This one was the first mitigation, break of structure. This one mitigated it nicely. So I'll be expecting markets to mitigate this demand. But again, we have another break of structure by network. Yeah. So back to this, I'll use this demand zone, but while waiting for that, I think market mitigated another demand zone here. Probably I might not see that. So my next entry will be here. So this is where I'll be looking to enter from, and then my stop loss would be below the zone. Depending on that will be there. And so let's see. Yeah, just like that. So it's got its see. So that is how I would have entered because that was the most recent demand zone. I would have used this demand zone, but this one got mitigated. So after this one got mitigated, I would use the next mitigated count. Okay. And then let's just assume our stop loss was here, or probably the stop loss would be here because of this demand zone here. Also, I think that okay, markets might also mitigate this demand zone and push up. So your stop loss might be somewhere below this zone. That's 15. But for me, I would have used 5 pips SL, right? So for me using 5 pips SL, remember this is the zone. I'll use half of the zone. So this is the whole candle. That's so I would have used half of the zone. And okay, you can see now just pierce it a little bit and moved in our direction. So stop loss is left to you, but that zone was a very correct and accurate zone to use. Stop loss would have taken me out because I used 5 pips, but still it's fine. Depends on my mood. Remember, I don't trade 1 minute time frames. I don't encounter stuffs like having 2 points of interest. But if you have 2 points of interest, you can set a demand zone here and set a demand on another, or draw out the whole zone and then trade half of the zone. Okay, see, and the stop loss will be a very good tactic. So that I always use sometimes if I have 2 points of interest. But remember, I rarely have 2 points of interest because I don't use this time frame. So this is how to avoid missing entries. If you have a demand zone here and a demand zone below, you can just draw your tool across the first demand zone and then the second demand zone. Right? So this is the top of the demand zone, the bottom of the demand zone. Then use half of the zone. Let me delete white. Half of the zone, that's equilibrium, right? And then you'll have gotten entry. So these are multiple ways to enter. And then let me show you another way most people enter, which is the most secure. But remember, I would have had a -1 here, probably a -1 here also, or a plus whatever. So depend on that. Then another way people enter is this. They always wait for the change of character. Then they wait for what another break of structure. Now you can see I wouldn't have entered here if I was using this second entry because I'll be waiting for break of structure at least like that and then continue going up. So no break of structure, definitely no longer using that zone. So where is the next break of structure again? We have this here. You can call that change of character. And then where will be the zone to be here? Right? Definitely you'll be waiting for what a break of structure like this to what to look for buying opportunity. But you can see this entry is a little bit safer. And the last entry would have been okay, where is the next break of structure? First break of structure was here. Change of character, sorry. And location was here. So definitely now where's the next break of structure? It was here. Ah, and then where is the zone that caused the break of structure? Probably this zone. Plus TP will be next demand zone. That's the TP is small now because we're using 1 minute time frame, but still is a 1 to 8. So if you raise to 1, you get 8, and I think that's fine. So you probably would have missed the down move, but if you are type that still stop loss gets it. If you are type that holds a lot, or probably you look for re-entries again and you find a way to do your thing. But I think I've explained majorly on popular ways. I think remember we're coming from this 1 hour command zone over here. So this, oh, okay. Yeah, and then I've explained here also. So what am I expecting for the GBP JPY next week? I'm seeing nothing really clean so far. Nothing really clean. I'll still be waiting for it to drop, okay? And then if it drops, fine. I'll look for more supply zones, probably here, after giving us break of what I'm looking. What if it buys? If it buys, then probably it wants to flip bullish, okay? And then I'll look for what? Hand zone. Definitely after. Right. So for this one, I'm waiting for markets to react. For Euro CHF, be bearish. And let me draw out my tool. Yeah, either of the zones. And then on Euro USD also, I'm still bearish. Okay? Remember, I look for counter trend buys before the market gets into the sales. Then if it gets to the sell zones, I was using extra confirmations for taking buys here. So zone is a valid zone for buy. Probably here or here. Yeah, I think that will be all. If you are new to this channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn the notification icon so you can get notified when I drop beautiful content like this. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It helps in the algorithm. If you have any questions, have any suggestions, or have ways we can improve the videos, just drop a comment. Make sure you also share to your friends and other forex traders, contacts or family. At this point, I'm going to say peace, guys. I'm out.